So Steven, this weekend we went to a place that I'd never heard of that exists in Florida, and I realized as we got there, as we arrived, I was like, I know why we've never heard of this place because it's essentially like traveling back in time, Steven. Like we got to this place, dude. Not only is this a place that has many original arcade cabinets from the 80s, like just old retro games, right? But they still use tokens, Steven. Not only do they still use tokens with the name of the place on them, but they also give actual tickets for the games that have that give out prizes.
Really? So we're going no digital. We're going completely analog.
Dude,
It's like
completely
old school.
analog. Everything's super old school. So this place is called Kids Tar Park. So we get there and Atlas is like, Kids Tar Park? He's like, this is a tar park? And I was like, this is where we tar and feather you. Sorry about your luck. Like you're this year's sacrifice. But dude, the reality is this place is in Port Charlotte, which I've never been to. I've never like I've
Never
only
been. We drive through Port Charlotte pretty often for work, so.
yeah,
But it
like
is kind of just like a middle. I mean, it's not really a. It's a town, not a town. I mean, it is a
yeah,
town.
it's
It's a
it's just
city,
one of those
but
it's one of those situations where it's like the Midwest of Florida. Like you don't really you fly by it. It doesn't matter. It's like the people who live there will complain about the good things there are to do there. However, I've never been to this place, so I was like, let's check it out. It has retro games, it has mini golf, it has go-karts, it has like basically everything. It has laser tag, all kinds of fun stuff. So let's go check it out. First of all, I don't regret it. It was a lot of fun, and we will go back. It was super inexpensive for what we got. We spent the whole day
really,
there, and we spent less for all three of us to play games for hours and because every game essentially costs like 1 coin. And like unless you're literally throwing them in the machines and not even playing the games, you're gonna be able to sit there and play for a bit with
so you're still getting 4 tokens a dollar too.
yeah, so you get 4 tokens a dollar, and then it's 1 token per game. So you sit there, and it's like unless you're dying right away, and even then, it's still like it's a few minutes per 50 cents, whatever. So, dude, I got like $20 worth of tokens, and we played for hours, like
That's
so
awesome.
long, and it was so much fun. Atlas ended up playing a Plants vs Zombies game and getting 100. Like he won the big bonus on it and got 100 tickets. So we just had to like sit there and I wrapped the tickets around his neck and I was like, yes, like you get to experience this. It was
Yeah,
really
because I mean, most places switch to digital cards, and it does kind of take
yeah, dude, you don't
the
get to
joy
see.
out of it. Like,
Okay, listen, the truth is there is nothing in the prize box more rewarding than watching 100 tickets be delivered to you.
no, yeah, that's the fun of it. That's
Like,
that's
I was in it. It had never occurred to me, dude. It had never. We've gone to all these different arcades with like the cool cards, and we're always like, we won all this stuff, but like you kind of don't feel it because you don't see that. So the big reward comes when you get like a stuffed animal or whatever it may be at the prize counter, dude. Atlas was so much more excited to just get all these tickets than anything else. He's like, I don't even care what we get with them. It was just so cool to have this experience. Uh, that being said, dude, this place feels like a dinosaur. Like it literally is a tar park. It feels like it should have died decades ago. It's very weird, and you kind of feel like the ghost, like just like it's being haunted by a time that once was, where it's like. Ooh, you guys don't realize I'm the ghost of Christmas future, and I'm sorry to say that this place is not gonna last much longer than you have. But dude, I hope it does because like it's a lot of fun, and oh my God, when's the last time you went mini golfing?
it's been a minute. It's definitely been years. I would definitely use years.
Yeah. So
Yeah, dude, like literally, like probably over a decade.
really, you've never taken
Yeah,
have you taken the girls mini golfing?
I don't believe so. I don't think
You
they've
have to
ever been
take you
mini
have to take
golfing.
them, dude, because okay, so first of all, I am a huge fan of a sport or like a contest of sorts in which everyone is equally bad. Like I
Hmm.
think it's very or equally unpracticed. Because then okay, yeah, there's some skill involved, but for a huge percentage of it, this is just going to be a luck-based situation in which I kind of learn from your mistakes, and you kind of and
Yeah,
you pick it up as you
whoever
go.
goes first is gonna kind of show how hard or how soft they need to hit this
That's
thing.
exactly what it is. Dude. So like I was going first on every hole and I was like, I guess I'm just the guinea pig. Okay, great. This is so cool. Atlas and I ended up tying and we did great. But dude, more importantly, this place was like the coolest mini golf place I've ever been to. It is a
Really?
Wizard of Oz themed neon light, like glow lit indoor mini golf.
Indoor mini golf? Oh
Yes.
my god! In Florida, that sounds like a dream. Every mini golf I've ever been to down here has been outside, and even in even in the winter, depending on what cold front actually came through, you're probably still gonna sweat.
Dude,
And
oh, it was so amazing. And like it was one of those situations where like before we went, I was looking at all the reviews and people were like, "Oh, like 1 star. One of the animatronics in the mini golf was out." I'm like, "How entitled are you? This is insane. This place has okay, this mini golf course has an entire story, like a fairy tale told as you go from hole to hole if you want. There are literal like giant prop books on the like that or like on pedestals with like vines wrapped around them, brilliantly lit by a black light. There's a castle, there's an incredible volcano, there's all this really cool stuff. And people give this place a 1 star review because like one of the animatronics is out.
dude,
It
some people,
blows
it's
my
got to be like competitors, right? Like it's got to be like someone who has some form of entertainment nearby that
right?
is
Like
mad.
Dave, people aren't liking our oyster hut. What do we do? Well, we really thought they were gonna like do into puppets with the oysters. They don't. They
They hate
don't.
it.
They hate it. What can we do?
Turns out when you call something "go shuck yourself," no one wants to come and visit your place.
Oh man, I want a shirt that says "Go shuck yourself" now.
Actually, my
Anyway,
dad that was my dad's restaurant idea like
was
20
it?
years ago. had to drop that little thing.
oh dude, I love that so much. But no, we had a great time. 5 stars all around. I did have some interesting thoughts. I had some cool ideas. I had some like elaborations of other ideas, and I was super inspired by this book that I've been reading by Frank Miller, the comic book author. So like I feel like I was able to overcome a bunch of my issues, but I did have them this week, and I feel like we should talk about them. So let's get to the actual show.
Let's get to them issues.
Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stephanus Wildcard Minium.
Every week, Stephanus Wildcard Minium and I do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles and nonsense that life throws at us. We say, "Go shuck yourself," and we get something done. Most recently, Stephen, what have we been working on?
We have been working on a superhero, supernatural, culty comedy comic called Deathless.
That's right. We are on issue 4. We're in like the very final. We're in that stretch where in a movie where it's like there are two people going head to head in a race and they can see the finish line and the one guy falls and the guy who's the protagonist is like, I could win easily, but then he's like, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna pick this guy up and we're gonna hobble together and probably get like tie for third or whatever. That's where we are right now. We're about to tie for third as we're hobbling over watching other people who don't have families and jobs or are just better at using their time past the finish line. But that being said, dude, we are doing great. I feel really good about this. I've been lettering this comic, and Steven, I will say to all the people out there who don't understand the process or people who do understand the process, Steven and I kind of share the duty of making comic books together. We've been doing this for a long time. We've kind of been honing the mechanism, like it's like a well
The dual what it takes for two people to complete a comic from rough to final draft. Right?
Yeah, we found a way to create this machine, and it's been working, and I've been very proud of us for it. And we start, of course, there's a writing phase, and then Steven does the pencils and inks. He passes it to me to do some flats. I send it back to him. He does the colors, like the shading and the lighting effects. Passes it back to me, and I finish the lettering. Now, Steven, most comic books have essentially the same dialogue balloons for every character, with a few exceptions. Most comic books do that. Our comic book, Steven, for some reason, the reason being I thought it would be cool,
And it totally worked in other issues where it's just him versus
Yes.
one
So,
person.
so what I thought was what I initially envisioned, right? I was like, okay, so there's going to be a hero and a villain. The hero is going to have his standard text, right? His dialogue. But when the villains speak, they're going to, once they're empowered, they're going to have like a special text that's just specific to this character.
Showing the fact that the spell, whatever's influencing them, is the color coordinated to the power stone that they were using.
Exactly. And I thought this would be cool. And I think it was. I think it worked. I think it was a really neat idea. However, Steven, now we're in an issue in which there are multiple villains in one issue, which
Not only
means,
multiple
oh yeah.
villains, but there's multiple instances of a villain because
Oh,
his power involves that. So
dude, yeah. So now I'm at the point where I'm like I'm doing the lettering and it's going well and I found a new method to do this. Yeah, I mean, I'm still doing the specific colors, but at least I found like a system that works for me. Essentially, I made like templates
where
for
it's more
every
like it just
single
rolls
character.
through now. It's
Yeah,
not
so
like you
exactly.
feel like you're not building each one from scratch each time you switch to a
Yes.
different character.
But dude, that being said, it's still so freaking tedious compared to like other books and other, issues that we've done. Like, oh my goodness. But it looks really cool and I'm very excited. I'm ready to get this freaking thing done because we are almost finished. We'll definitely be able to ship off
We
for
can
print.
ship for print this week because
Yeah.
what I did this week, I actually just sent you the 2 final pages if you want to look at them on your phone real
I
quick.
can't wait. Oh my God.
I did send you the folder again. I always forget that I have to resend the folder to you when I update it because
Okay.
it doesn't like remind you.
So weird.
But so I have pages 1 through 18 colored completely. Hold on. 23 and 24 are also colored completely.
Mhm.
19 and 22 are fully flatted and partially shaded. And then, so I know I only have 2 more pages left to actual flat, and then it's just some shading. Did you see those ones I sent, though?
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. I can't wait to show her this.
Dude, doesn't that boom look so good, though, with the gradient and the...
This looks so good, guys. I wish I could show this to you. I can't wait for everyone to read this dang comic book now. Oh, dude, I'm so excited for this book. I'm so excited to get it out. I'm also, Steven, I will say I'm excited to move on to the next issue of Deathless so we can move on to our next project, dude. Because
Project, absolutely.
I've been like on fire with different ideas. I keep coming up with all these like weird things. Actually, I had a new idea that I almost talked about last week, but I wasn't quite ready. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Probably maybe nothing, but maybe it could make a really cool movie. It would make a really good book. I don't know. Right? I'm not sure, but I like this idea a lot. I kind of want to share it. Like, you want to do like a pitches get stitches real quick?
Yeah. Get that needle in that thread, because it's time for pitches getting stitches.
Welcome to Pitches Get Stitches. It's the segment in which I have a random idea usually, and I share it with Steven, and I go, is this a thing? Is this anything? What is this? Who am I? And Steven goes, I don't know, man. We're working on stuff. We don't have time for that. But we eventually get to it, or we try. So, Steven, dude, imagine there's a woman. She moves into a new house by herself. Like she's renting this house. She just got a new job. She's working from home. She's like excited to like be able to afford a place of her own. She's starting to make it her own place. Naturally, there are like little bumps in the night, little awkward things, but like she's just getting creeped out in like a playful way. Posts about it on social media, like kind of gossips with her friends, like saying like, "Oh, it's not as creepy as my last place with my ex," or blah blah blah, whatever it may be. But dude, what if she goes to sleep one night? And well, I wanted to do something where she goes to sleep and she has sleep paralysis.
Oof.
So she kind of like lays there and she realizes like, oh my God, I've never had sleep paralysis before. This is crazy. And she's just like in the house and she like passes, like nothing happens, just kind of like realizes like I can't move. This is creepy. This is weird. And then she goes to sleep. She wakes up. She like tells her friends about it. She's like, "Oh my God, like what is this?" And her friends like, "I think there might be a demon in the house." And she's like, "I don't believe in demons." Like this is stupid. So the next night it happens again. And she's like, "I don't know what's happening. Like I've
never had sleep paralysis before in my life.
And now
suddenly
I'm
I'm
in
in
this
this new
house."
place, and it seems to be a nightly occurrence at this point. There's
Yes. So she
2
starts
instances so far.
So she starts looking into it and she's like, starts seeing things about like, oh, a sleep paralysis demon and all this stuff and like, ooh, the Hat Man or like the various like shadow people that people claim to have seen during sleep paralysis. And she's like, well, I haven't seen any of that yet, and hopefully it stays that way, you know? And she's like, this is creepy. I don't know what to do. She's like, okay, maybe I'll sleep on my couch and like just kind of mix it up. I'll, try to do something different. Um, and it happens again. But this time there's something like standing in the shadow, in the doorway,
Looking,
looking
peering
at
at
her.
her.
Like a creepy shadow, right? And it starts moving toward her. And then she wakes up. And then the following night, and so this continues where each night now she's like, I don't know what to do. I have sleep paralysis. She tries to go and she talks to like she goes online. She tries to go to like WebMD. She's like, what do I do? Do I like can I take anything? Can I do anything? She goes through like a series of like meditations and tries to like take certain medicines or whatever. And I think like she kind of stops having sleep paralysis for a couple days. Like she takes the medicines and she's like, okay,
It's
I
like
think like
evening her out, and
yeah,
she's
like
like getting more comfortable
yeah, like she's
again.
like I took my melatonin or whatever and I
Mm.
took my drank my chamomile teas, I rested and I'm fine. Um and then like she's like, all right, maybe I was just panicked and I was stressed from having a new house and a new job and new stuff and I'm starting to panic, to think of all this stuff. So she's like laughs it off. But then she has sleep paralysis again. And this time the thing is sitting on her bed and sitting on her legs. And then it crawls up and it's looking over her, silhouetted by like a soft moonlight, like, in the distance through the window.
That bluish
Yeah.
shade, like
And,
just everything is blue.
and she can't move, and she just kind of like feels like this thing like put its finger like near her mouth. And then it like closes her eyes and she wakes up and it's the morning and she's like, what the fuck? She's like, I can't do this, I can't sleep here. She's like, I don't know what to do, I just moved in, I can't move out, I can't break my lease, I can't afford this, and I don't know what I'm doing. And her friend's like, all right, I'll sleep there with you and like watch you and make sure everything's okay, blah blah blah. And her friend comes over and they have like a fun like girls night where they're like, all right, well, we'll set traps and we'll figure this out, and if there's a sleep demon, I'll kick his ass or whatever. And it doesn't happen. And the
No
friend's
sleep
like, are you
paralysis.
sure? Are you like, what's going on? Are you okay? And she's like, just please don't leave me, stay over again." And she's a good friend, so she's like, I'll stay as long as you want. She's like, I don't care, I'm in my like 20s, 30s, like I'm fine, like I don't have any kids, I'll
I'm
sleep
just
here.
living life, baby. Let's do
So
this.
so she starts living there for like a couple days, um and then they both have sleep paralysis.
And are they both aware of each other too? In their
Yes.
individual
Well,
paralyses?
but they're not moving. So they can just see each other's like feet. Yeah, exactly. And they can't move.
They're like
But what
looking
they
over.
both see and what they both share the same vision of seeing this creepy creature walking toward them and looking at the bed. And it goes over to her friend and essentially like drags her friend out of the room.
Just completely removes
Yep.
her friend.
Just removes her friend and it's gone and you don't hear anything. You hear like slaps from the other room, like kind of gross wet sounds, and then the creature comes back and like silhouetted you see kind of like blood coming off of it, and it just
Oh
looks
my
at
god.
her and walks slowly toward her and says, and he starts talking to her and he's like, no one else should be in our bed.
Oh my god.
Yeah. um and then she wakes up and the body's gone. Her friend's completely gone.
Just non-existent now. She's just
Non-exist. Well, like yeah, well, like her
she
friend's
exists to the world, but she's nowhere to be found.
she's nowhere to be found. There's no evidence of her death. She's nowhere to be found. There's no one's around. There's no blood anywhere, and there's nothing. And she can't find her friend no matter what she does. She's like calling, she's texting people, she's trying to figure it out. She's like, I can't sleep in this freaking house again. Um, Anyway, I think I she would probably get a hotel room or something like that, but
Mm.
eventually she has to end up back in the house just like to get her stuff. And I think that's when she would realize that there's someone who's been living in her attic.
So it's like not even like
It's not supernatural at all. It's literally someone who's been living in her attic and using like a paralyzing agent on her every
while
night
she's sleeping, so
while
she
she's
wakes
sleeping.
up to the prick or like in
Yes.
her
That's
leg or whatever.
exactly what it is as it like works through her body. And this person's been like obsessing about her from, you know, the vents in her house or from her crawl space or whatever it may be. And of course I don't want it to end with like a super dark ending. I think she would figure it out and she would like pretend to be asleep. So then when he comes out, she would like kick him and then eventually poke him with the thing and probably kill him while he's like being paralyzed in the end. Probably how it would end. I haven't thought it much about the ending. But anyway, Steven, it would be called The Man of My Dreams. And it's
I love it. I miss these so much.
but I don't know. I was thinking about that and I was like, I really love the idea of a sleep paralysis demon where other people experience it. It feels real. There's enough in the movie to make you feel like it is a demon, or at least you know there's something terrorizing her. And then when you find
Hmm.
out, when the eventual twist happens, and you find out it's a human man who's been obsessed like frogging in her house or whatever, it's just as scary. You know, like I want
Hmm.
it to be like it's
It's
scarier
just as
even. It's
invasive.
like
It's even more invasive. It's even
yes.
more like
Yeah, you know, so I love that idea, and I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do with this because I have so many other ideas I have to work with, and I'm like, I've been kicking around my I think I told you my what fresh hell idea about the CSI guy who dies and goes to hell, right?
I think so. Yes,
Yeah,
and
but oh God, I've been thinking about that a lot too. I have so many random ideas. We need to get through Deathless so we can freaking move on to Bullet and the Beast because I can't wait for that too.
with issue 5 of Deathless, I'm going to try my best to like do like a bloodlust situation where I just try to grind through it. At least the first, I need to get a good set amount.
Yeah,
Obviously, we're gonna have the packaging and stuff, but like
yeah,
after I'm done flatting and coloring this week, we can send off for print, and then all I have physically left to do for Deathless issue 4 are the sketch cards.
yeah,
So instead, sketch cards are just sketch cards. It's just me doing doodles for people. Like
yeah.
it's just a quick drawing from me as a bonus for supporting us after we've crossed the finish line. Then yeah, and did you get any more T-shirt sizes in, or should I
Not that
just
I've
order?
not that I've
I think I'm
seen.
just gonna
Maybe
order
just
what
one of
you've
each.
sent, and
Yeah,
then
just order what I've sent, and then like if they come forward, we can get a couple more made because they've already paid for them and
yeah,
stuff.
they're already owed it, and we'll just have to do
Yeah,
what we got to do.
yeah, no big deal. So yeah, I think that's best. I think we should just move forward, order whatever we can. I'll double check to see if any more of the surveys came through. I know we got a couple more in. I'm not sure how many of them were t-shirts that we didn't already have, but we'll see.
Mm.
But in any case, dude, I'm very excited. I've been really invigorated with like just all this like strong ambition like I used to be. I feel good about it. I'm like ready for our next project. I've been listening. Dude, if anyone's out there right now and you're like, like if you work on comic books at all or any sort of creative endeavor at all, I would suggest listening to the audiobook of Push the Wall by Frank Miller. Dude, it's so good. It like I love Frank Miller. I always have, but
Hmm.
like it gave me like a new appreciation for him and also for like us and what we're doing and it was just it was so nice to hear like to listen to this book and hear about his journey basically.
Hmm.
Like dude, this book starts with a prologue that's a letter to his younger self that literally just felt like he was talking to us. And I was just like, oh,
Really?
yeah, and I was like, all right, I was like, I would like tear up. I was like literally crying like I'm just like, oh, I'm doing my best, Frank Miller. You know, just like I'm gonna get there. I'm doing it. These are the good
Papa Frank, I promise.
Papa Frank. I love you. No, it's crazy, but it's a really like inspirational read, and also just gives you like or it gave me like a stronger reverence for Frank Miller and his work, you know, like because it's easy in like his later years to see his like random sketches and be like, all right, this is like Picasso-esque in a way where it's like it doesn't look like it's your best work, you know, like
Mm.
I remember I saw like his Ninja Turtle sketch and like maybe it was partially the coloring on it and stuff I didn't love, but it just didn't feel the way his older sketches and drawings looked. You know, like when I
Mm.
see Sin City or like his old Batman stuff or like Daredevil, I was like, this stuff is alive in a way that makes me feel like I should do something with my life, you know?
Mm.
And then it's like, and I felt
That
like,
dude defined the 80s of
yeah,
comic. Like, you know, like before comics were all just the giant muscles and
Yeah.
huge guns, the Rob Liefeld era of like 90s comics, which don't get
Well,
me wrong, I also love. But that he just really, I mean, I know he did in the 90s too, but
yeah.
like,
Well, and
man, so
dude,
many like crazy stories from him.
and yeah, and well, and part of what it is that like I really appreciate, and I can tell with like this new huge appreciation people have for like Absolute Batman, um, there is a general love for style. Because
Mm-hmm.
style is just perspective, Style is the imperfection that we bring to art through our own experience. So and that's what he has in droves, like if Frank Miller is good at anything, it's like having his own specific perspective, whether or not you agree with the things his characters are saying, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But like what does matter is his freaking Sin City books, the contrasts and all the way he uses shadows and like the Mike Mignola of it all, like the because like he just has this incredible classic style that seems like he like chiseled it out of his own blood somehow and made it his own. I just love it. And I think other people appreciate it too. It's why we like the Mike Mignolas or like Scud or like these things that seem specific and they're not just like the general Marvel. Like what Marvel's kind of
Mm-hmm.
become, where it's like everyone looks kind of like the Jim Lee version, like the which like it's good, it's
They have like this
beautiful
very
art.
standardized like art style now though. You're right.
Yeah,
Like it's this very like safe, I would describe
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
and
great. It's very clean looking,
it
but it's a
is
very
it
style it's very specific.
and he kind of says something in the book. I'm not going to try to quote it all. I'll just give you like I'll paraphrase. Like the idea is essentially what he says is like comic books seem to have been, comic books have always been learning from movies. Some comic books try to basically emulate what movies have done or what movies can do, and that's great. But also often, especially recently, they've forgotten what comic books can be and can do, and like specific to comic books. Like so a lot of comic books are made in such a way that you can imagine what it would look like on a screen translated perfectly. But when you
Mm.
don't worry about that and you just think, how can I make this the coolest, best, most interesting comic book story possible? You often come up with something that's unfilmable or at least seemingly
Mm.
unfilmable, like Sin City, and it takes someone with like an extremely creative vision like Robert Rodriguez to bring that to life.
Mm.
Something that's like, oh my God, this only works because you did everything you could to like
He took
infuse
the
it
time
with soul.
to translate it because
Yeah,
it's still not the comic, but
exactly.
it created this like movie masterpiece where it had
Yeah,
its own identity. That first Sin City, I never saw a Dame to Kill for. I think
yeah.
is what it was. I never saw the sequel, but the first Sin City is in my opinion pretty much a flawless movie. I
Dude,
love it
that
so
first movie
much.
is so good. I want to after reading the book, I'm like, I want to watch it again, but I also want to read all the Sin City books now, and I want to like, I'm just like, crap. I'm like thirsty for like more of that style or like just good stories in general. So I'm like, I'm excited, and it makes me want to tell stories. I'm like, I can't wait to get to Bullet and the Beast. I was thinking, dude, and like obviously we don't have to make a decision right now, but just knowing our process and how long certain things take, what if we did Bullet and the Beast as a like black, white, and blood book?
Oh, I'm down for dude. That would save us so much time. And I could even do like grayscaling. You know, how
That's
I
what
do
I
the
mean.
gray. You ever see some?
No,
Because
yeah,
my
that's
grayscaling's pretty good sometimes.
I,
Like
dude. No,
sometimes I send you flat like pages to flat, and you just drop color on it, and it looks done. You know what I'm
dude,
saying? Like,
that's exactly how I feel, and that's what made me think that because I feel like Bullet and the Beast of all of the ideas we've been talking about, and anything we've worked on, it would be really cool to see that like black, white, and blood, where it's just like cool shadows, cool like grayscale, and then blood, and that's
mm-hmm,
and that's it. We could always try it, and if we don't like it, let's color the book.
mm-hmm.
But like I do think if we create it with that in mind, we'll end up with a cooler product and we'll probably stick with a black, white, and blood situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which
And we could still even do like stuff like Yellow Bastard, like
for
where it's
sure.
like there's certain things
Yeah, yeah.
you hit with color, but like yeah, honestly, it does sound cool. It really does. I mean, and it would save us a lot on that tail end of the process. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like it would.
Absolutely. And that's kind of I know, and like obviously I've been inspired by this Frank Miller book because I'm like he makes these like he's made these gorgeous books in black and white, but it's not just him. It's literally the history of comic books has been black and white, and like I love the smattering of color. I love I love the contrast and the various expressions and the way you can use color to be expressive or evocative or whatever, but I don't think we need it for what we're doing. And I think we can, I think the fear is always like, oh, like a black and white movie, like, will people still appreciate this? But I think the answer now is yes, because I think what people are more concerned about now, more than they are with like the color or the certain level of art, is the story and like the heart that goes into the thing. I think that's evident in pretty much everything, but like especially you can see games like Minecraft, or like
Mm-hmm.
Roblox exists. It's like kids are willing to play a thing if it's something that they find value in. If they can still, it doesn't matter if it has the best effects or the best quality
Dude,
of color or the best.
I quit years ago, but World of Warcraft is still going with
Yeah.
millions of people playing it, and WoW has never been known for having the best of graphics. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
And that's not
it's
to say
crazy.
that yeah, and that's not to say that we're not going to put our all into the book and make it the coolest, most stylistic, best black, white, and red book we can, but that we won't just simply add color because we feel like we have to. Like I like the idea of specifically doing this and making the book that way, and it'll I just can imagine like cool werewolf, like black and white werewolf with like red coming off of his claws with like red footprints in the snow or whatever. Like I just like it's I can imagine it, and I think it would be really cool. I'm very much looking forward to writing this damn book. I do have to write excuse me. I do have to write the vampire movie first, though. I'm gonna write the How to Dispatch a Vampire, and I'm very
Nice.
excited for that. Um, Speaking of, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, no, we covered a lot
We covered a lot of
this
stuff.
week.
But before we go, Steven, before we go, what are we actually gonna do this week? Are we gonna finish this week? What's our plan here?
Yeah, dude, I'll definitely finish coloring this week.
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind. The hardest pages are done. Page 23 and 24 took so much time, but like all that's left now is the conversation pages. So it's
Yeah.
going to be super easy.
Heck yeah, dude. I will this week I'll do everything I can to finish. I'll tell you right now, it won't take me more than 2 weeks to color, like to finish lettering. So like if it's not this weekend, it will be by next weekend. But it should be this weekend. It's just a matter of like how
And
school
we
goes.
promised we'd start shipping September, right? Is that when it was?
Yeah, or like end of August, September. So we're fine.
Oh, we'll definitely we'll have it. Yeah, we'll have it in hand. By
Dude,
the end
I
of
will
the
tell
month.
you right now, we'll always give people their books. We will never fail that.
Oh yeah, it's
And
never
people
not.
are used to, deadline shifting, and people are unfortunately used to people just not, Kickstarter's just not fulfilling the
That's
reward.
we've literally
No,
never done that, and
and we
we've
never
always
will,
fulfilled.
dude. Yeah.
There was one. It was the issue two. One of the issues. We remember when it was like around COVID, I think,
Hmm.
and there was like remember there was like a printing issue with
Well,
Kablam where they weren't getting enough paper.
dude,
Remember
that
or something like that.
sucked. Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, and it was like a month. It was like a month and a half delay on our print. Like I think it took us like two
yeah.
months to get our books, even though we had ordered them like
Yeah, that
forever
was
ago.
that
But
was really bad. This time, I do think we should go to Comic Impressions and
okay,
talk to them because
I'm down.
it's literally it's in our town, so I'm excited for it.
Support local, yeah,
Heck yeah,
all
dude,
for it.
we should. I mean, I know Kablim's also technically local
Somewhere.
because they're in like Orlando,
Okay, true that.
but like, Florida seems to be the new mecca of comic books. Which Steven, I kind of before we go, I do want to talk about that. Okay, I want to set I want to set Bullet and the Beast in Florida.
Okay.
Now, I'll
I
tell
mean,
you,
that makes sense, dude. Like, we always keep trying to imitate these cities and
yes,
stuff
and
that
that's
we've never lived in.
yes,
Like,
and that's why, because like I was listening to this book and I was like, well, like when I wrote Table Scraps, I literally said it here, like it's Table Scraps is in Fort Myers, um, but like comic book wise, I always think cities because that's what's always been fed to me through every comic book company. Every
mhm.
DC is like, oh, here's Metropolis, which is just like clean New York. Here's Gotham, which is just dirty parts of New York. It's like
Yeah,
everything is like that, and it's like, or here's when you go to Marvel, it's like here's a literal New York, New York, and you're
yeah.
like,
This is
oh,
just New
okay,
York City.
just New York City, and everything is like that all the time. So I was like, okay, we are like our story is about an assassin or a killer of sorts who gets bitten by a werewolf and then learns that the only way to not become that monster is to go and hunt down the monster that bit her. Easily, she could have a target in Miami, right? Like
Hmm.
it's a city already, but it's also like just it's a believable, yeah, she could have a target there and then they move through Florida as she's trying to get them,
The Everglades is a great setting. I mean,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes. And I love it.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
dude,
that.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I love that idea, and I think we should start doing that with our ideas to the best of our ability. I understand like some stories just demand certain settings like that. It'll happen, but if we can, we might as well tell the stories because the reality is, yes, a huge percentage of people live in cities. That's what a metropolis is. It's a huge population of people. However, the majority of people in the world don't live in that city. You know, like we've never had that experience. We've always had the same, and it's not like a perfect suburb experience. It's just like the small, like awkward urban,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, because
weird.
Cape Coral, where we live, is not like small town or rural by any
No.
means. It's just not. It's just not a big city. But I mean, like where I live is almost 300,000 people that live in my city. You know, like
Yeah.
that's
So
a lot of people.
yeah, and I like that idea. I like the idea of setting it somewhere where it's like she can go to like this dive bar and it's not like there are 100 like young people there with their phones out or whatever. It's literally just the dive bar that's next to Publix or whatever. Like I
Mm-hmm.
like that idea. I think we can.
We
I
got to
think
throw a pub sub in there somewhere.
hell
Like
yeah.
there's got to be.
No, but I like that. I think like I'm gonna like work on Bullet and the Beast to set it in Florida to the best of my ability. But I think it'll be cool. I'm very excited for that book. I can't wait to get to it. I hope you're excited to draw monsters because that's pretty much what it's gonna be.
I'll have to study the Van Helsing movie for werewolves because that was like one of the best iterations of a werewolf.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, like that and like what you should look at the wolf like the wolf monster form of Dracula in
Oh
Bram
yeah,
Stoker's
you're not
Dracula.
wrong. That is legit one of the best werewolves, and it's not
Dude.
even a werewolf.
It's
It's so
not,
funny.
but it looks so cool. And like, if we made werewolves that look like that, I would be like, all right, we nailed it. Like, we
Mm.
made a cool beast. But like, yeah, just like marrying those things would be really cool. I'm excited for it. I hope people show up for that book. I think they will. If they watch this much of the episode, they'll show up for that book. I also Oh man, it's I'm not going to start talking in depth about the movie until I finish lettering because I feel like that's fair. I'm not writing it at all. I already outlined it when we were on like a road trip a while ago. So like I'm ready to write it, but like I can't wait. I'm gonna freaking letter this thing and then we're going to start talking about making a movie. So if you want to join us on a new journey into filmmaking, which is cool and scary and weird and fun and I know we can do it, dude. I'm very excited to do it. I'm just nervous. But yeah, stick around and tell your friends that like we're gonna make a movie, and it could be fun to watch us flounder. But we're going to eventually succeed, so I hope you're not, like hate watching or whatever. But otherwise, Steven, we should probably get out of here. That's what we're doing this week. Those are the issues that we face. Steven, what do you want to say to the people before we go?
Thank you for tuning in each and every week to Anthony and I as we wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man our way through the podcast and our day to day. I appreciate each and every one of you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Tell all your friends to subscribe. Tell your friends that we're here for them and we want to hear about all of your issues and obstacles and nonsense that life throws your way. Comment something below for the algorithm. It really does help. But otherwise, we'll see you next time. Until next time, I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next week.
Boom, 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 boom. That was. She smelled like angels out of smell. I don't know if you could hear. I don't know if you caught that, but
Steven, we're gonna leave. Maybe I'll put it at the end or whatever. But Steven, do you remember the band Atreyu?
yes.
Okay, dude. So I remember
Amazing first two albums and then just a complete and utter
Thank
collapse
you.
and fall
Thank
off.
you, Steven. Steven, I had no idea. Okay. All right. So Steven, I have my genie, which is my phone. I'm in my car and I just go like, "Hey, dear genie, I wish for an Atreyu song." And and it plays. So I was like, "Oh, I want to hear that." Like I'm thinking about werewolves and vampires and stuff. So I want to hear Crimson and Red. I want to hear, so like I'm thinking about all these various songs about these things, right? And dude, I just asked to hear and just play Atreyu, and it played the worst like butt rock.
Was it
Like
Become the Bull?
it might have
'Cause
been. I don't.
that
Dude,
song is horrible. No,
dude,
dude. Literally after their first, they actually after the curse, they had like a song or two that was okay. I can't remember what the third album was called,
yeah.
but I know the original screamer guy is gone, and
Okay.
they have like a new guy, and then the drummer guy still. I think the drummer guy's just a lead singer now.
Yeah.
There, like I don't even think he plays the drums
I
anymore. I could be wrong, but dude, I haven't listened. they're one of those bands where I loved their first two albums and then that was it. I stopped tuning in, you know?
Yes, well, it sucks because I understand sometimes you just like one song by people, sometimes you like an album, but like it's really weird to be that like I and if you love all Atreyu and that's for you, I'm not trying to insult you. It's not a good or bad thing. It's not better or worse. There's no hierarchy of taste, but it's not for me. Like I was like, oh, I used to really like these songs, and I tried their other songs, and I was like, oh, this is literal trash to me. Like I personally would rather
Dude,
crash my
they're
car.
literally like worse. It's like a worse Papa Roach, and that's
Yeah.
saying a lot for me to say that it's worse than Papa Roach.
Dude,
But
it's like a
they literally
Grandpa
did,
Roach.
and
Like what?
it's the literal definition of selling out. I feel like they
Oh.
literally sold out. Like they,
Yeah, I don't know. I felt so bad because I was like, I don't know. I've been trying to like listen to like concept albums and like fun stuff with like various like screaming and singing and like different melodic structures because I want to prepare my brain. Like
Mhm.
I want to eat as much like as I possibly can so then I can come out with some like fun, beautiful pastiche like music quilt for Bullet and Beast. And like I want to be able to write like I haven't written songs like this in a while. I want to absorb as much as I can and like really see what I like and what works. And none of that worked for me, Steven. None of it worked for me. I feel like I poisoned my brain by listening to Atreyu. And I'm sorry, Atreyu, if you're listening, which you're not. But if you're a big fan of ours, we're a big fan of some of yours. But
we really liked the first two albums.
oh man, that was so rough.
Another band that was,
Yeah,
dude, Finch was like that too.
were
Finch
they?
is like original album is
Dude,
flawless. And
yeah.
then he fell off. I don't know for sure, but I heard that I think his name is Nate.
Mhm.
I heard that he did, like got a big head or something, or he was
Oh
hard to
no.
work with and like
Yeah.
kind of egotistical or something. I think I read that somewhere in the
Dude,
grapevine.
I'll never
But
understand that.
I'll never understand it either. Dude, the first Finch album is freaking awesome though. Like
Yep.
I can listen to that start to finish, but
Oh yeah. Dude,
after
I
that,
forgot.
it's like meh.
Yeah, they always remind me of Mike, so I'm just like, oh
Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
I
for
haven't
sure.
heard their new stuff. I probably won't. I'm just gonna
It
sit.
wasn't much new stuff. I think they only ended up
Yeah.
creating like maybe 2 or 3 albums
Yeah.
because of the clashing egos and
Oh,
things like
okay.
that. From what I'm to
I
understand.
do. I will say I really do like the newer Silverstein stuff. Was like a cool place to drown or like a nice place to drown or something like that. Like they have like these guests on the record like throughout that are really cool. Like Aaron Gillespie and like the guys from Under Oath play on one of their
Oh,
songs. And
cool.
it's really
Yeah.
cool on Infinite.
And Silverstein has always like known who they are. Like,
Yeah, dude.
like I've always loved Silverstein. It's
Yeah.
not something I listen to every day, but I do love Silverstein, and they've never strayed from their not even like their formulaic, but just their identity as it evolved made sense. The evolution
Yeah.
made sense.
Yes.
They followed the
Yeah,
path,
that's
and
a
it's all
perfect.
good.
Yeah,
You know what
dude.
I'm saying? Like, there's just some bands that try to. I think some bands try to force evolution, and it's like you can see it or you can
Yeah.
feel it. You
And
know,
it feels,
This is
yeah, it
forced.
feels like an artifice. It feels like affectation. Like it's not a natural like evolution. It's just like, oh, we want to do this other thing because maybe there's success over there or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. We're not gonna do that, Steven. We're gonna stay ourselves. We're gonna make weird things for weird people. Um, no, but yeah, I don't know. I hate like trash talking anything, but it's just our little show. I'm just talking to you about it. So like, if you love them, I'm
We're
sorry.
gonna get attacked by a Atreyu.
Just Atreyu
You know
specifically.
what? Fuck those guys specifically. Let's trash them, boys. Like, oh my god,
We get a
that's
distract
one bad
from
review
Atreyu.
too many.
Oh
These
my
guys
God.
have no opinions on anything, but they shit talk us. We're fucking ending it.
We're gonna end you.
I'm gonna become the bull, and I'm gonna stab those matadors.
Oh my god.
He's
All right.
apparently a wrestler, by the way.
What? Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Like, this is his voice. It sounds like he's cutting a promo.
I'm gonna end you.
Oh, you
Oh.
comic book writing boys.
I love the idea of Atreyu as a wrestler.
You're
my
messing up big time.